Britain was losing the Battle of the Atlantic. German U-boats hunted Allied convoys like wolves, sinking merchant ships faster than Britain could replace them. In 1942 alone, hundreds of ships went down, along with vital food, fuel, and ammunition. The Royal Navy was fighting the last war: slow decisions, rigid hierarchies, outdated tactics. Convoy escorts waited for orders while submarines vanished into the darkness. Britain was starving, and time was running out. Then came Captain Gilbert Roberts, a sickly naval officer forced ashore by tuberculosis. He had an idea: simulate submarine battles using chalk, math, and imagination to test new tactics before lives were lost at sea. But there was a problem. All experienced officers were already fighting the war. So Roberts recruited whoever was left. Young women from the Women's Royal Naval Service, known as the WRNS or WRENs, teenagers, mathematicians, secretaries, hockey players. They would become Britain's deadliest tacticians. In a room painted like an ocean, the WRENs moved colored chalk across the floor: green for submarines, white for escorts. Each turn represented 2 minutes of combat. There were no pauses, no rewinds. Make a mistake, and a ship was erased from the board. The WRENs weren't following naval doctrine, they were breaking it. They realized the Germans weren't attacking underwater during the day. They were attacking on the surface at night from inside convoys. It was chaos, and it worked. But in Liverpool, the WRENs discovered something else: a counterattack tactic that could save the convoys. Led by 20-year-old Jean Laidlaw, the WRENs developed a tactic they called raspberry, named after the childish act of blowing a raspberry at Hitler. It was brilliantly simple. When a torpedo hit, any escort ship could fire 2 white rockets into the sky and yell "raspberry" over the radio. Within seconds, every escort rushed to the convoy's edge, firing star shells to light up the night sky. German U-boats, suddenly visible, were forced to dive before finishing their attack. Response time dropped from 8 minutes to 90 seconds. For the first time, the hunters became the hunted. To prove their tactics worked, the WRENs of Liverpool had to beat the Royal Navy's best. When Admiral Max Horton, a decorated submarine ace, came to inspect the unit, he decided to play the war game himself, commanding the escorts. Across the table, 2 teenage WRENs commanded the U-boats. Within hours, they sank him 5 times. Horton was stunned. He said, "This works. Train every officer in the fleet." And that's what they did. Over the next 3 years, 5,000 Allied officers passed through the Liverpool Wargaming Center, learning tactics from the same teenage girls who had outsmarted their admirals. By May 1943, everything changed. The Royal Navy, using WATU tactics, began coordinating faster, striking smarter, and anticipating every German move. In a single month, 41 U-boats were sunk, while only 13 Allied ships were lost. Germany's Admiral Dönitz had no choice but to withdraw his entire U-boat fleet. The Battle of the Atlantic was won thanks to chalk, stopwatches, and teenage girls. After the war, the WRENs of Liverpool faded into obscurity. Janet Okell, Jean Laidlaw, and their team received little recognition. History credited radar, sonar, and technology, not the women who designed the tactics that made them effective. But the truth remains. When the experts failed, curiosity, courage, and creativity saved Britain. They proved that sometimes the most dangerous weapon in war is a young mind that refuses to follow the rules. What impossible problems could we solve today if we stopped assuming the experts already have all the answers?